Welcome into Post Game Live, brought to you by your New England Ford dealers and Ford Trucks, the official truck of the NFL. You see the score right there, 45-7. The Patriots put a beat down on the Cleveland Browns today. Now they move on to 6-4 on the season. Michael Holley, Tom E. Curran, Amina Smith here with you. And I did not think it was going to be a beat down like this. Michael Holley, you said it was going to be a beat down, but 45-7, I did not see that.
All right, I'm not going to say I told you so, because I didn't see this. I didn't see them beating the Cleveland Browns by 38 points. But Tom and Amina, this was a declaration game today from the New England Patriots in November. It's mid-November, essentially, and we have a lot of teams that are jammed together. Some of them are real legitimate. Some of them are totally fraudulent. And the Patriots said today, we're one of those real teams. I'm going to show you why. And they showed it with a strong running game and a passing game that a lot of people didn't know that they had. And the last thing I'll say is it really stood out to me that, in the beginning of the year, they really struggled to win games at home. Their last two home games, they've averaged 49 points a game. So this is really the Patriots saying, yeah, we're legit. Pay attention.
Yeah, and this team was 2-4. Now they're 6-4. So to me, you've got a team that had said, we're better than our record indicates. And we said, well, show us. And they absolutely positively have. Since they kind of pooped the bed against the New Orleans Saints and lost 28-13 at Gillette Stadium, we've seen a 4-2 record, the two losses, of course, being against Tampa and Dallas when they were in it against two of the better teams in the NFL. To me, Michael alluded to it, but they weren't supposed to be able to run with this kind of ease against the Cleveland Browns. And when we talk about Mac Jones, we're going to get deeper into this, but what's interesting to me, Amina, is I talked about him plateauing a little bit, and I think he had. Plateauing doesn't mean peaking.
He
had leveled
today.
off over the last. It's okay. That's sometimes what a stock does. It plateaus, and then it goes right back up. And we are.
Way to save it. Way to save it. I know we'll dive a little bit deeper into that. Let's bring in Matt Cassel right now. Cassel, what did you take away from this game after watching the Patriots put a beat down on the Browns?
Wow, right? I mean, that was incredible. I don't think any of us anticipated. I mean, Holley said it was going to be a blow-up, but did he really believe it?
No.
I mean, he didn't believe it. I mean, everybody
from the just doing it for TV.
I mean, hey, doing it for TV, but at the end of the day, look, everybody deserves credit. The coaching staff put a phenomenal plan together, but it was the players that went out and executed. The offense, the defense, collectively, they were outstanding. Mac Jones, we talked about the plateau. Curran always wanted to talk about how he's hit the wall. He's gonna be terrible. He was outstanding today. I mean, he missed 4 throws all day, but one was tip pass by Myles Garrett, another one was a throwaway, and another one was a drop. It was a near perfect game from him. The guys stepped up, and then their third down efficiency, being 7 for 9 on third down, and the length and where they had to go in terms of their drives was outstanding. And then the offensive line. I mean, what can you say about this offensive line? We talked a lot this week about the defensive line for the Cleveland Browns, Myles Garrett, and they were outstanding for the Patriots in being able to come off the ball. They gave him a bunch of different looks, cracked him. I mean, just an all-around incredible performance by the New England Patriots today.
And Mac Jones, 19-23, 198 yards, and that career high of 3 touchdowns. Matt Cassel, when you take a look at Mac Jones out there on the field today, what was his biggest strength?
You know what? He has such good command of the offense, and you see it continue to grow. And today was a statement game for him because, again, we talk about his resiliency. We talk about him being able to perform under adverse conditions at times. In the last 2 weeks, I'm sure we're not one of those situations that we're up to his standard. But look at this throw. He trusts the fact that Kendrick Bourne, I think that's Kendrick Bourne right there, right?
Yeah,
goes up, makes a great play, but he sees it. This is a great fade route on a third down play. He knows it's a rookie quarterback out there, gives him a chance. This is a sail route to Hunter Henry right here. Again, it's just perfect ball placement, allows himself right here. It's the manipulation of the backer on the inside. He knows he's got to move him outside of the hole, and he's able to deliver that ball. And then here, he recognizes zero coverage. And again, he goes to his matchup against zero coverage, which is Hunter Henry on a safety. And it's a great ball. He was effective. He was efficient. I mean, again, it's accuracy for him. But the thing that I love most about Mac Jones' performance today, and it was the maturity that he's had, was in the second quarter, right? It was a run play called. He checks it at the line of scrimmage because he sees the rotation. Well, it was a disguise. Safety drops back, and all of a sudden at the line of scrimmage, he slows his cadence down. He makes another check. It's 2nd and 12. He gets to the right play. Ramondre Stevenson takes care of it, gets a first down. But that's just his maturation in this offensive system, and it's an outstanding performance by him.
To me, when you look at his first drive, Michael, he had a conversion to Hunter Henry on about a 3rd and 8. Then he had a 3rd and 13 conversion.
That was later in the drive.
Later on the screen to Bolden, and he also had a nice throw down the middle, terrific catch by Jacoby Myers, again, who we'll point out. He is not what you would call a centerpiece for an offense that you build around. But when you talk about a guy fulfilling his level and playing and emptying his tank every week, Jacoby Myers does that. And that's the thing about Mac Jones when you talk about he started the game that way, because whether it's against the Chargers or whether it's last week against Carolina, we've seen him hurried up, we've seen missed throws. This is something he's done, though. When I talk about a plateau or a leveling off, this is something he's done since the beginning of camp, since he's done since minicamp. The last day of minicamp, Cam Newton had a terrific day. Mac Jones didn't. They had to suck on that for the next few weeks until training camp. Training camp again, first day they put on pads, Mac Jones didn't have a great day. Cam Newton did. The next day, Mac Jones was terrific. Against Dallas, pick 6, comes back, touchdown pass. Against Los Angeles, starts flat, comes back, plays outstanding down the stretch in the 4-minute drill. This is what's best about him. We don't have to deny Michael Holley. We don't have to deny and explain away. We don't have to explain away that Mac Jones was not playing at the same arc of improvement that he was, but we can say that this is what he does all the time, Michael.
Okay.
Oh, no, by the way.
Oh, by the way.
Oh, by the way.
He's back on the incline.
I'm glad we got a quarterback. We got a quarterback in here to referee this thing. Before I talk about the plateau, and just how sneaky that language is, Tommy Curran, plateau, because it allows you to play both sides of the street. I will point out that he's gone against 3 top 10 defenses this year. So the Buccaneers, he missed 8 throws. I think he was 32 or 40 in that game. Missed 8 throws against the Buccaneers, didn't have any problems. Missed 6 throws last week against the Panthers, another top 10 defense, number 2, I believe. So 12 of 18 against the Panthers. And then the Browns, as Matt Cassel just pointed out, he misses 4 throws. Now, math is not my strength, but I think that's pretty good.
That's about 14
you put that all together.
That's pretty good day at the
32
office.
completions against the Buccaneers, 19 completions against the Browns, 12 against Carolina. You do the math. It's interactive. But here's the other thing. This is why I think plateau is off, Curran. Because plateau, English teachers, help me out here, I think it suggests that there's no growing going on.
Right.
There wasn't for 2 weeks.
That there's growth. But just because it doesn't look great on the stat sheet doesn't mean that he stopped growing. And that's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Like, even if he's out there, Mac Jones
I didn't think his learning was over.
He will grow
He
all season
plateaued
long.
statistically.
Just by being on the field, he's going to grow. Seeing
Fair.
a bunch of different defenses.
Fair.
So I never thought he really was. I didn't think he regressed. I didn't think he relapsed. I didn't think he stopped growing.
Matt, how much did that plateau, maybe if we want to call it that, maybe have to do with the production of the offensive line? Because we take a look at them today and they did a stellar job, but earlier this season, that really wasn't the case.
Again, with any quarterback, right, you're going to have those games or those moments where you're just not on. And it happens from time to time. And for Mac Jones, really, it was more evident in the San Diego game than it was even last week. In the San Diego game, it was really the first half. He felt rushed. Hey, I did it too, all right? I've had off days at the office. It's very, very common, okay? But at the same time, if you look at his body of work, the consistency that he's had throughout this season, the growth that he's had throughout the season, I mean, it's been remarkable to watch. And again, when he is put into tough situations, when he has to throw the ball, when it's 3rd down and they're relying on him for the first down, he is as calm as any quarterback I've ever seen. And he just goes about his business and he's methodical. And that's what he did today. And again, they were 7 for 9 on 3rd down. That's really hard to do in the NFL, almost 80%. And then in addition to that, they only punted the ball 1 time. They scored almost on every possession that they had other than one in the first series of the 3rd quarter. So again, it was just a complete dominant performance, and it was led by him.
We have to talk about Ramondre Stevenson out there on the field today. 100 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns for the rookie. Holly, what did he establish about himself out there on the field today?
Now, I think this is what we've seen from Ramondre Stevenson. Going back to the preseason, he was impressive there. And still, I'm going to be his defense lawyer. The fumble that may not have been a fumble in week 1 that he got punished for, I thought that was unjust. He's a guy
Unjust.
An unjust benching from Ramondre Stevenson. But this is what he does. I think he's got pretty good hands. These are running plays, but he's a factor in the passing game too. And I will suggest that he had the most important 4-yard run all day. They were backed up to the half-yard line. There was a penalty, half the distance. Half-yard line, I'm thinking, okay, what are they going to do now? And they gave it to Stevenson. He got stopped initially and somehow managed to get out to the 5. And that was the first play of what turned into a definitive, I think, game-changing 99-yard drive from the Patriots. So he's just already, as a rookie, I think he's a consistent player and a reliable player.
What's interesting is the game called by Josh McDaniels really did an excellent job of taking advantage of some of the penetrating that we saw. Like on that touchdown run, Myles Garrett went inside and just got taken upfield inside by Isaiah Wynn. Took advantage of it. The Patriots don't like to run to the outside. We remember how it looked at the beginning of the year. Every time they ran outside, they had penetration on those tackles and they were losing yards. Today, they went away from their tendency and did run outside. And the addition and return of Trent Brown, which I didn't think would have an immediate impact because he's such a giant human. And it's like it's going to take a while for him to be in game shape. He immediately was in game shape. So that's terrific for the Patriots because those two tackles, and Wynn, had again, some good plays, but a few bad plays today as well. Those tackles, to me, are going to be the key to how far this team goes. We haven't even hit on a defense that had a team that scored 41 points last week, only scored 7 this week.
But I love your. There it is. I love your Myles Garrett point because it's not just Mac Jones taking advantage of Garrett's aggressiveness. It's the tackles, knowing what he's going to do, selling it, and it's the running backs understanding, okay, this is what it is, especially in screen situations. I think it was just a good job of team awareness. Everybody knew what the game plan was, and Myles Garrett, I can see a couple of times he was this close, felt like he was this close to getting the Mac, and he started to get a little frustrated during the game.
Hey, Matt, we talked about Josh McDaniels. We talked Josh McDaniels.
Right, that's what I was just about to say.
Bam, hit that because the screens and the end arounds.
Well, that's the thing is Josh McDaniels, I mean, we talked about in pregame, we talked about the brilliant nature in which he calls a game, but it started really early in this game, right? They had reverses. They even had N'Keal Harry came down and cracked on Myles Garrett early in this game on a run that was just an inside zone. They utilized his aggressiveness against him, and every time he came up the field, they threw screen passes, they had slip screens, but again, they gave him so many different looks to think about in terms of just trying to pin his ears back and come upfield, because everybody knows that he just wants to get off the ball. But here, again, they utilized the reverse throughout the course of this game. I think they ran 3 or 4 of those. They used the draw, and then they countered him. And early in the game, which I loved what he did, was he came down and he cracked him 2 or 3 different times. N'Keal Harry did an outstanding job of getting underneath his pads, knocking him down on one play, but it just gives him different thoughts to think about. Every time somebody motioned down, he doesn't know, gosh, are they going to crack me right now? They gave him help in the pass game as well at the tackle position so that he never just got a clean run off the ball other than some of these 3-step drops. But I mean, it was how they formation things. And in addition to that is what they did from an offensive standpoint to try to negate anything that he could do and ruin the game.
So what you're saying is Bill Belichick didn't exaggerate his love for Josh McDaniels during the week,
not
right?
At all.
Perfect.
Not
And no weaknesses as a coach.
No, I told you.
45-7, not at all. Go ahead, Matt.
It's all love, baby. It's all love. Guys, I love Josh McDaniels. I think, as I said before, he's one of the best offense coordinators. He's the best offense coordinator I ever played for, but he's one of the best offensive coordinators in the game right now.
Defensively, I think, you look at the Patriots, just had it up there, 217 total yards for the Cleveland Browns. That's insanely low. Baker Mayfield chased in the game. It's the second time in 3 weeks, I think, that they've chased a quarterback from the game. 11 for 21 for Baker Mayfield before he got chased, and he had the pick that he threw to Kyle Duggar, who was a guy I said will be a Pro Bowl level safety in short order, and he had that kind of game today. We're going to get further into it, but when Ted Johnson gets in here shortly, I want to ask him about this offense compared to 2004. Not saying Ramondre Stevenson and Damian Harris are Corey Dillon, but when I'm seeing Kendrick Bourne run reverses and end arounds and the screen passes and the screen game, Deion Branch is reminding me, or Kendrick Bourne is reminding me, that there's a lot of elements. Everything is new again, okay? Everything that's old is new again.
Everything that's old is new
I'm going to say
again.
2003, though, because you had the split backs.
Fair.